guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Tampa Honda, of course, in Tampa, Florida. And look what we have. This is the refreshed 2021 Honda Accord. This particular one is the 2-liter turbo sport trim. But before we get into this sporty midsize from Honda, let's talk about what's going on here. The Accord, it's been around since 1976. Everybody, you should know who the arch rival is to the Accord. Who is it? Yes, you are correct. All the way in the back, raising your hand all over the place. Toyota, Camry. Those two brands, those two models have been fighting with one another for decades over who was bringing the best to market. Now, there are some other competitors, especially in the 21st century, from Hyundai with the Sonata, Kia with the K5, and we can't forget the Mazda 6. But I really want to focus on the two that have been fighting the longest. This is that 2-liter turbo sport. I want to compare it to the Camry XSE V6. So which way should you go? Should you go naturally aspirated V6 power? Should you go with the detuned Type R turbocharged engine? And what are we getting amenities-wise for the price? And then, of course, at the end of the day, what's going to give you the better on-throttle driving experience? Let's dive into our San Marino Red. I love the name of that color. San Marino Red Accord 2-liter sport turbo, and find out, is this the one or should you go the Camry XSE? Right off the bat, both of the cars that we're talking about, the Camry and the Accord, have received a refresh for 2021. Starting at the front of the business, no matter what trim you go with on the Accord, you're going to get your LED headlamps. I personally dig the style of the headlight housing. I like having LED headlamps, and I really like the way they also did the daytime running lamp. It's a little bit more kind of my taste compared to the Camry. Now, the Camry does have some cool updated daytime running lamps, but I still think the Honda kind of checks that box off, at least for me, when it comes to that overall style. Now, when we work our way down, you're going to get refreshed on the lower bumper area. So we're going to have a functional side air curtain, LED fog lamp, just a little splattering of gloss black, nothing too crazy. I like the way they extend that right and left corner down to give you that aerodynamic efficiency and also that nice aggressive look. And that's the funny thing, is that those two brands of vehicles, the Accord and the Camry, they got boring for a little while, but they've been back. This 10th generation Accord has been pretty sporty compared to the previous gen, and the same story with the Camry. Now, as we come across the front grille, this is all updated for 2021. Same story. For me, I dig the styling of the Accord a little bit more just because it's a little cleaner. And the great news is nothing fake. On the front end of the Camry, there are some fake vents that we have to zonk. We're not zonking any fake vents on this one. Now, you are going to have the dark chrome that goes across the total brow of the front end, from one headlight all the way to the other. Of course, the Honda badge in the center, functionality, some horizontal gloss black, some horizontal dark chrome, but other than that, really looking super clean. They relocated the Honda sensing technology just a little bit inward so it wasn't so close to the front. And I even like the way they do that lower extension here. Everything kind of integrated nice and clean together. Now, when we get up onto the hood, it's the same hood since 2018. And if you're saying, well, Joe, why 2018? That's the first year of the 10th gen. You get a mini bulge, so you get a little bit of bulge from the hood on the Accord. As we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So on the 2-liter turbo sport, this is your wheel and tire combination. So you're going to get a nice machine aluminum gloss black finish. If you're wondering, Joe, what's the size of this wheel? It's a 19-inch wheel, 19 inches in diameter. And then you're getting a nice overall 235 on the width and a 40 series sidewall. Pretty good size on the ventilated brakes. Front wheel drive, just like the Camry. Now, the Camry, you can get all-wheel drive, but not the XSE trim. This Accord, these Accords, any trim, is only available in front wheel drive. So that could be one zonk for you if you need that all-wheel drive capability. But you do have some great braking and suspension all four corners. As we go down the side, very clean, no fake vents on the side stuck on. You do have these nice metallic black mirror covers. A little bit of bright, shiny metalwork, which I am going to zonk that. I don't know why on a sport trim do we have bright, shiny metalwork. This should be dark chrome or just flat black or gloss black. You do have a sunroof, and I've always liked on the 10th generation of the Accord that nice body line that runs along the bottom portion there. Gives it some nice aggressive look from the side instead of just a flat slab. Now, as we keep working our way back, some gloss black, not too much. I love the shape and the size of the rear quarter window, the way they bring the trim. Even though I don't like the bright, shiny metal, I do like the way they flare it out at the tail end of the business. On the Sport, though, you are gonna get a blacked out shark fin antenna, and when you get to the trunk area, you do get a very tasteful black trunklet spoiler. Our Accord badge, I think the one thing that many of you are gonna zonk is this right here. Here, I gotta put some paper in there. The stapler style taillight, you know, I'm on the fence with it. It really doesn't bother me too much, but it would have been nice if they would have refreshed that. I'm sure a redesign is coming soon of the Accord. Shh, I didn't say it though. 11 Gen is coming. Drop down, I love the way they did the exhaust. Just nice decorative trim rings with some functional exhaust, and it just cleans up everything. Normally I don't like that vacuum style, but on the back end business of the Accord, I do like the way it's just integrated, super smooth, super fresh. Of course, we're gonna get that 2-liter turbo badge with the Sport badge as well, but why don't we pop the hood and see that detuned Type R engine. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. If you're wondering why is the hood open even more, it's because I actually put it on the service tech opening. They can open up the hood more. There's 2 separate settings. Underneath the hood though, yes, we are gonna zonk the prop rod, but it is cool that we can open up the hood 2 different size openings. You're gonna find that detuned Type R engine. Now, the engine cover is semi-bland. I wish they would have just did a little bit more, but what you're looking at underneath that plastic cover is gonna be that 2-liter turbocharged engine, 252 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 10-speed automatic, 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. That's where the Accord is gonna beat down the Camry. You're getting a better transmission, not just because of more gears, but it's just a better transmission than the 8-speed in the Camry, and you're getting turbocharged power. Now, I know some of you will prefer, and put in the comments whether you prefer the naturally aspirated V6, but you can't fool the numbers. 0 to 65.5 seconds, quarter mile is gonna go by in 14 seconds flat. MPGs, 22 in the city, 32 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 3,400 pounds. But why don't we go ahead, we talked about the power, we talked about the performance, we compared it to the Camry. Let's get to the interior and see what big things are in store for the Accord. All right, guys, we're inside this 2021 Honda Accord Sport 2-liter turbo. I know you're saying, well, Joe, how much is this? When you compare it to the Camry, how much is it? MSRP, the way that this one is optioned, is right at $32,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. I personally really can appreciate the clean design on the Accords. Yes, it's all dark material, but I don't need any beige to break things up. I like the way they put that nice decorative design. It's gonna hide the fingerprints, a little bit of silver, soft on the door armrest there, and the door pocket, it's a decent size. You could get your Chipotle burrito and get guac, but just remember guac does cost extra, and you have a nice area for a Barks root beer, nice bottle of Barks root beer. But now when you go from the door panel to the dash, just be aware that we're dealing with some shadow. This big rectangle that's not on the dash, that's actually this label that's on the windshield. So just want to point that out so that nobody's freaking out. What's going on here with the dash? Like I said, I like this design. Look at that, hides the finger. Look, Mom, no fingerprints. Silver trim comes all the way in. We get to the 8-inch infotainment system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's got the nice swipe features. You can move around the icons very, very simply, which is great. Sirius XM radio, of course. Let me throw it into reverse. There it is. Not the clearest view, but it is a touchscreen, and it's very easy to use. Now, when you compare this to the Camry, Camry's got a little bit larger screen, but I really dig the system in the Accord. Same material, you got your start-stop button, dual climate control, like the switchgear. I like the lack of gloss black. You do have heated seats, but no ventilated seats. The only way to get ventilated seats is to go fully loaded with the Touring. Now, you have a nice door here. Open that up. What do we have? We have wireless charging, 2 USBs, and a 12-volt. So they got you covered there. This closes up with one finger. Look at that, my pinky. Boom. This is going to control that 10-speed automatic. We do have sport mode. Get a little bit extra go-go. And we got a little bit of econ to save the planet a little bit. 2 cup holders, nice metallic gray, no fingerprints. Here's your key fob. I like the key fob way better, and I'm gonna peel this back, even though I'm not supposed to. Let me make sure nobody's looking. Lori, take a look over your back. But but I like this key fob a lot better than the Accord key fob, than the Camry key fob. The Toyota key fobs, they feel like key fobs from 1985. It's really weird, but you do have remote start, you could pop the trunk, and you could play your red horn very loudly. Nice wide armrest. The only problem is it's not very soft, but it looks good. Pick it up. What do we have? We have a little bit of a Planters peanut tray, and it does slide, and it is removable. And you got enough room in there for at least one box of Twinkies, and you got a 12 volt in there. And then you just pop this guy right back in. Boom. Seats, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. When you go sport trim, you're only getting leather on the outside, and then you have this material in the center, which reminds me of the cloth napkins from Red Lobster. So the bad news is they feel like cloth napkins from Red Lobster. The good news is you could drive this to a Red Lobster and get those cheddar biscuits. Maybe some hush puppies. Manual seat control for the passenger. I have electric and a standard size sunroof. Why don't you come over to the business end though, before I get us to Red Lobster, come over here so we can finish the review behind the business end. All right guys, business time behind the wheel. What you're gonna get when you go sport is you get these nice aluminum pedals, dead pedal, brake pedal, and throttle. I do like that touch, especially when compared to the Camry. You have your seat controls right down below and lower lumbar, which is great. Move my hands out of the way so Lori could showcase the goods. Anyways, I'm 6 feet tall, even with the sunroof, plenty of headroom. Steering wheel. This steering wheel is way better than the Camry steering wheel. I love the thickness. The stitch work is phenomenal. Even the horn button looks tasteful. With a little bit of silver, you got your flat black on the buttons. I do like the thumb wheel drive control, and you have paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down that 10-speed automatic transmission, tilting and telescoping. And then the dash is clear cut and straightforward. You do have an analog tach. That's the only analog gauge. That gauge on the left is a digital gauge, so you have the tachometer if you want. But watch this. I hit home and I could showcase, let's see, range and fuel. Boom. Just like that. Maybe you want to know your traffic signs. Boom, look at that. And then we could go right back to tachometer. That's where I'm leaving it. I do like the digital bar graphs on both sides. Other than that, like I said, when you compare it to the Camry, I think it's so much more straightforward and it looks a lot better. But why don't we get to the back seat and see how much room your passengers have in this Accord. All right guys, back seat time, and really it's gonna be splitting hairs between the Camry and the Accord. There is so much room back here. It is just ridiculous. But the backs of the seats, that nice leather all the way around, you got large pockets. You could easily go to IHOP, get some nice supersized pancakes back there, maybe even some waffles, some nice waffles, just slide them in there, pour some syrup. You could eat it right out of the pocket. You do have your 2 AC vents, and they relocated the USB ports so that your passengers can find them a lot more efficiently and effectively. What I do like about the Accords is that they have covers over them. On the Camry, they're just exposed and they have this blue illumination around them, which is kind of cool. They make them look like Tron ports, like you're playing the game Tron, but there's nothing wrong with that, I promise you that. I wasted a lot of quarters on some good Tron at the arcade. But anyways, lots of headroom. I'm still 6 feet tall. I have not shrunk since the last time you saw me. And one of the softest armrests in the whole auto industry. This is actually made by Serta that makes beds. They made the armrest for the Honda Accord. Just a little fun fact between you and I. But let's go ahead, let's get to the trunk space and see what we could haul in the Accord. All right guys, time to get into the trunk. Real simple, under the H for Honda. Just flip it right up. Nice wide opening. You're looking at 17 cubic feet of space. Compared to the Camry, very, very close in size. I do like the way they have the handles up top to allow you to fold down those seats, 60-40 split. I also like the depth of this cargo area. And then of course you pull up the cargo mat and liner, there is a spare underneath all that foam. So I promise you, under that styrofoam, there is a spare. But why don't we go ahead, let's put it where the rubber meets the road and take this Honda Accord 2-liter turbo for a spin. All right guys, we're in the 2021 Accord Sport 2-liter turbo. Right away, if you've been in a 1.5, you're gonna notice a big difference, especially when you go on throttle. It easily drops over a second 0 to 60 from the 1.5 liter turbo Sport to this 2-liter. 10 speed automatic transmission behaves so wisely, and if you're sitting there in the comment section and zonking that it does not have a manual transmission, Honda gave you your chance. They sold so little of them that they decided for 2021 to get rid of the manual transmission. So I applaud them for trying, but like in many cases, people complain, but then when they deliver, when the auto manufacturers deliver, they don't buy the vehicle. So that's why they got rid of the manual once again. Visibility is phenomenal. I do like the ease of the dash, seeing the tach, the speedometer. We do have it in sport mode, and we are going to take it down some twisty bits. Now, all trims get the 8-inch infotainment system. Easy to get to, easy to figure out how to work it. You got your dual climate control. And what you're gonna get, I think, a little bit more in this Accord than you are in the Camry is just feedback to this thing right here, the steering wheel. Love the thickness, like I said earlier, and just wait until we get to some curves, because it really delivers a lot of communication, which is important if you're gonna be driving twisty bits on a regular basis. Seats are supportive and comfortable. They just have that weird Red Lobster material, but we already have a reservation for Red Lobster in a little bit for lunch, so maybe we'll take you along with us, get you some cheddar biscuits. I'll send them to you. But the seats are supportive, and they are comfortable. Kind of stinks that the passenger has manual controls, but I get it. They're trying to keep it within a certain price point. Mirrors work great. You got blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, all those goodies from the Honda sensing technology. I really like the way they tuned the suspension in the Accord Sport. Nothing too harsh that's gonna beat you up and shake your kidneys and internal organs all around, but it does give you that connected feeling to the road, which is nice. And the 19-inch wheels, they look so good that they are one of the most stolen wheels in the country. So I guess we can't complain about the style since so many people with sticky fingers want to take them from others. So you're getting a nice looking wheel, and they're very responsive with that lower profile tire. Maybe not the best when it comes to potholes, but definitely from a handling standpoint, it's gonna feel a lot better than some, 60 series sidewall. All right, guys, it's at that time where we're gonna do some on throttle and some twisty bits. So I'm gonna leave it in automatic mode for right now from a slow roll. On throttle, here we go. Nice. A chirping wheel is a happy wheel or tire. On the brakes. Feels good. Look at this. This is what you get when you go with the Accord. Great handling. That 10-speed behaves so well. Nice. Look at that. You're not getting too much buzz from the engine, even though it's a inline-4 turbocharged engine. Yes, naturally aspirated horsepower is good in the Camry from the V6, but definitely the numbers don't lie in this Accord Sport 2-liter turbo. All right, guys, we're gonna use the paddles. On throttle, here we go. Nice. Really great feedback, look at that. And remember, this car is front-wheel drive, yet it gives you such good feedback. You're not getting a bunch of torque steer, which is nice, and it just communicates super duper well. All right, guys, once again, on throttle. Nice. Really does put you back in the seat. It fires through that 10-speed automatic transmission so efficiently and smooth. Going over the bumps, it sucks everything up. And you know what? If you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'll go ahead and get a Camry with the not only XSE, but I'm gonna go TRD. Well, guess what? If you go up to Honda Accord Touring, you're gonna get adaptive dampers all four corners, and around Virginia International Raceway, that Accord Touring 2-liter turbo turns faster times than the Camry TRD. But hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel of what the Accord, at least the Sport 2-liter turbo, is all about. We're gonna get back to Tampa Honda and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another great day here at Tampa Honda. Definitely gotta thank Sam and the rest of the crew getting us this 2021 Sport 2-liter turbo. it really goes to show it's kind of nice to have variety, right? If everybody just bought the same brand of vehicle, the same model vehicle, I think this whole Rady's Rides car review thing would probably be kind of boring, and life overall would be boring. So it's nice to have choices. I think if you're looking for the utmost in performance and that drivability and connected feel, this Accord checks off so many boxes, but definitely weigh the factors, weigh the variables. If you want to keep seeing mid-sized sedans on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, 2 ways to do it. Click the first link, become a Rady's Rides Patreon member. Click that second link, get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Got to give it out and up to the hardest working videographer in all of YouTube, in all of camera history. Lori, working that camera like a champ. Show her some freaking love in the comment section, or I'm going to kick you in the groin. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.